live. Hello, good morning. How are you? Happy Monday. I'm Michelle Lloyd, founder of United Art Space, and every Monday I'm live to give some motivational words of wisdom with you all. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. So last week I went live and Tracey Frowde asked me a question and I said I'd answer it this week. We were talking about how to not let things get in our way. And she asked a question of, what if I don't know my true self? And I thought it was a great question, and it was a big question. So I thought I'd do this in a separate video because it's reminded me of many times during my life where I've not felt aligned with where I'm going or what I'm doing. And I remember actually most of my 20s just feeling so lost and not knowing what to do, what decisions to make. And I felt like there was something I should be doing, but I didn't know what. And I always felt like that there was something missing. And I kept saying over and over again, if I knew what I was supposed to be doing, I'd work so hard, I would do it. And I just used to go from one job to another job, course to course. And I didn't have any clue where I was going or where I was heading. And I used to feel really frustrated. And I remember then just going, I remember also saying as well that I really want to help people. I remember I kept saying that I want to help people, but I had no idea how. And I do remember at some points thinking, should I train to be a counsellor? Should I do this? But I've done so many courses, hairdressing, even the counselling, website design, brand, oh gosh, just so many different courses whilst I was in that midst of not having a clue. So today, I want to talk about two parts of finding our true selves. The part that relates to us as an individual person and human, and then the part of us that's an artist. Because to me, although they go very, very much hand in hand, they are a little bit separate, but they do influence each other. And so going back to when I was feeling very lost, and in fact, I was probably still feeling lost in my 30s, but then I became a mother, so that distracted me. You know, I had something else to focus on. There was a purpose, and I needed to be a mother. So it kind of distracted me from what I really, really needed and what I wanted as a person. But what I realized whilst I was taking all these different courses and flipping around doing different jobs, you know, it looked like I couldn't hold anything down, which I probably couldn't. I don't know. It was almost like I was searching for what I loved. I just had no clue. And I would take a course and I'd do it for a few weeks. Some of them I would finish, but then I'd stop. I'd quit and I'd try something else, something completely different. And I was desperately, when I look back now, I was desperately searching because I had no idea what I was good at. Especially having ADHD and dyslexia, I seemed to struggle with a lot of things as well. So everything that I tried, I just felt like I wasn't very good at. And what I've learned over the years from choosing what to do is the decision is usually made through the head or the heart. And when I look back, there were certain courses that I took, or certain jobs that I took, or certain decisions that I made that were based on my head saying, I think you'll make money from that decision or that course or that job. I think that will lead to something better in the future. It's not really what I want to do, but I think other people have taken that course and they're making money, so maybe I should. And I wasn't listening to what I really, really wanted to do. So every time I took those courses or those decisions, I was still unhappy. I felt like there was something missing and I wasn't lighting that passion inside. So I was still chasing what it was that I wanted to do because I was listening to my head. So I spent most of my 20s just listening to my head, looking what other people did. What are they doing? What course are they doing? All right, I'll go and do what they're doing. And then what happened for me was a pivotal moment in me listening to my heart. Well, I was still listening to my head a little bit, actually. When I was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia in my late 20s, I then grabbed all the books on mental health and started to think, this is why I'm like this. But then I started to go, right, so in the book, I'm supposed to be this way, so I'm going to go and take this creative course now. And I, again, was doing things because, well, these other people with dyslexia do this, so I should do that. And I was never listening to my own, like, what was it that I wanted to do? I was never, ever asking myself that question. It was always, what should I be doing? What are other people doing? What's working for them? And I never ever sat and asked myself, what do I want to do? Or maybe I did, but I didn't know the answer, but I don't remember asking that. And it was when I found out about the dyslexia and the ADHD that I did finally start. There was a flip into me then opening up my eyes to working in a creative environment and being creative. And I realized that I'd been suppressed for years. And why had I suppressed that? I'd not let it out. So I started doing art courses and I started to be more creative, and I got a job in a creative design team. And then I started to ask myself, what is it that I want to do? And that's when I took my sabbatical from work. I was just about to turn 30 and I took my sabbatical and I did my fine art degree, which, by the way, was a big decision because I loved surface pattern, I loved fine art, I loved all different disciplines. I love clay, I love 3D. you know the turmoil I was going through. You've probably all experienced it as an artist, like you love it all. And I was that person. I like typography, I want to play with this, I want to play with that. And so again, I was in that stage of, well, what are other people doing? But so that's one of the things I've learned in life is when you are deciding what decisions to make about who you are, who your true self is, it's being mindful of, are you listening to your head or your heart? Because when you're listening to your head, that isn't your true self. That's your brain telling you, I think you'll be safe if you do this, or all the people that have fed you their opinions over the years. These jobs are safer. This job will bring you more money. That's the head. And the heart is the one who's calling, well, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. This is what I love doing. And we don't often listen to that part of ourselves enough. And when it comes to finding your true self, so going back to my story, then when I started to make art, and I spent 6 years making art every day and selling bits of it, and it was amazing. I loved it, and I started to feel like I was lighting the passion, but I still, when I graduated, felt lost, and I felt like, what do I do now? I have no idea where I'm going. No idea what to do with this now. And I remember people saying to me, do you regret now doing your art degree because you can't get a job, and all of these comments. And one quote that has stayed with me, and still I use this all the time, I feel lost, because even though I found myself now, and I'll tell you how I did that in a second, there are still times where I lose my way. And this quote, which came from Jeff Walker's wife, and I'm not sure what her name is, it wasn't my quote, it's Jeff Walker's wife, said in a book, when people lose their way, It's because they've lost their why. And so whenever I feel like things just don't feel aligned, or I don't feel like I'm going on the right path, I don't feel very happy with what I'm doing right now. Who am I? Where am I going? I always return back to my why. And that's the heart, that's not the head. It's really getting back in touch with, why do I get out of bed in the morning? Why am I doing all of this? What matters to me? And these are questions to ask yourself when you feel like you've lost your way. Reflecting back on the past and what you've enjoyed, reflecting on the now and what you love. What's important right now? Who's important to you? And I tend to close my eyes, and you can all do this today, and I did this on a live the other week, but close your eyes and imagine yourself in 5 years' time living your dream life. And it takes a minute sometimes to shut your head up, because when you close your eyes and you start to imagine, the brain will come in and go, "Oh, that could never happen," or "You're too rubbish. You would never do that." You want to shush the head and just close your eyes and just let yourself dream. And that usually gets you in touch with what you really want to do, and do it. And what can you see when you close your eyes and imagine that? Who's with you? Where are you? And when I felt lost after I finished my art degree, and then I had babies, and then I was a mother, and then I kind of found myself thinking, I don't know who I am anymore, because I've been a mum and I've been running the house and I've just given myself to the children, and that's what you do. And I don't know what to do anymore. I haven't worked for so long now. I'm completely unemployable. Um, I was applying for jobs and not getting anything back. I hadn't made art in a long time, and I just felt lost. And I had no idea where to start with, what do I do next? It was so alien, because I'd spent the last year just feeding and being in my house, and just walking around the streets with a pushchair. So, there was just no idea for me what I could do. I had no clue, no starting point. And I think what I did back then was to kind of go through this exercise of, well, what do I love? What did I love? What do I want to do? And I spent time thinking about, in 5 years, what would I like to be doing? And I almost, instead of going, I would like to be in this job, or I'd like to be working here, I focused on how I'd like to feel, how I'd like to be living my life. And I focused on more of the intangible things, untangible, intangible. So I knew that I wanted, because I'd been off with the kids, I knew I wanted that freedom. I wanted freedom. I don't want to report into anybody ever again. I don't want to have to get up and go to work when I don't want to go to work, when I'm having a day where my head's wobbly. And I want to be able to pick my children up from nursery. They're at school now. And I want to be around creative people. So I started there. I didn't know where any of that would go, but I just started to just look at all the things that I knew I wanted in my life. If I listened to my head would have gone, well, you've got to go and get a job. You can't just spend all day at home and have a day off when you want. That's ridiculous. Who gets to do that? That's what really was in my head. And I silenced it, and I just created a little board, and I wish I had it here to show you. I'll dig it out. And I created a board, and I just put pictures of people jumping in the air, feeling free, because that I found a picture on the internet of people just all jumping in the air. So it's like a cliche, like, yay, we're loving life. But that, to me, it just resonated with the feeling of freedom. Like, I just wanted to feel free, and that was one of my big words, freedom. I think because I felt so caged when I was employed, and I hated being in jobs. Although, I used to show up and do a good job, I just really just felt like a caged animal. And so freedom was always a big thing for me. And that's where I started, coming from being a completely lost individual. It was like looking at everything that I'd liked and what I would like in the future and what I didn't want. And that's the key thing, is thinking, if I don't know what I want, what don't I want? I don't want to be employed. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And that was a great starting point for me. And that then led me to, well, what's the opposite of that? It's freedom. It's me working for myself, but that frightened me. How can I do that? So again, my head was coming in. So I just had to silence it. I'd like to work for myself and leave it there. Head, thank you. And that's how I got United Art Space off the ground all those years ago, was thinking about how I wanted to live my life, how I wanted to feel. There's no way I could have come up with, well, I'd like to run United Art Space and get artists from around the world together. That was just never, ever. That would have scared the life out of me if someone had said that to me at that point. I would have probably never have taken the steps, because looking at what I'm doing now, back then, I would have been terrified. So, but what it did is it enabled me, those starting points, to start to create that life. And it was no accident that I'm living that life now that I set out all those years ago. And I still have to pinch myself. I cannot believe that I made it happen. And the same goes for art. So that's talking about us as an individual. And when it's related to your art, so you just might not have any clue what kind of artist you are or what kind of art you want to make. So thinking back to when I started my degree, I had no clue. And they were putting pressure on me to choose something. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And it's the same process that I just listed out when you're deciding what direction to take your art in. Why do you pick up materials in the first place? Get back in touch with your why. Why do you pick up materials? Why do you like making art? What does it mean to you? Reflect on the past. What art did you enjoy making? Reflect on the now. What do you love about life right now and being creative? Look around you. Is it man-made things? Is it organic things? Do you like colour or do you like dark? And again, you can close your eyes and use that same exercise to imagine the kind of artist you'll be. What kind of work are you making? And then in terms of the art side, I would do the same thing, create a vision board with all your favorite art things and all the colors that you like and patterns or textures or whatever it is for you. Start to actually build it all together on a board. So I have two boards. I have one for my art and one for my life. And that's my why. And then when I lose my way, I always return back to those boards or back to my why. And in relation to your art, when you start to create that vision board and get back in touch with who you are as an artist, as a creative person, I recommend setting up a little project for yourself and gathering all those things and finding artists that you like. Take some time to research the artists that you like and collate images from your journey, snap pictures as you see them. And you will start to connect with who you are. And excuse me, one quote that I really like from Steve Jobs is, in life, we have to trust that the dots will eventually add up to the bigger picture. So all the things that I've done and all the crazy things that I did and all the courses that I took have somehow amounted to the person that I am today. And it's the same for you. It's trusting. I remember Steve Jobs saying I might have this story a little bit wrong, but when he graduated, or did he graduate? I think he might have quit before he graduated and walked out of the university, college, and called his parents to say that he quit, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And he walked into he said he was just walking home and saw a sign saying typography class. And he thought, oh yeah, I quite fancy doing that. No idea why. And just walked in and did the class. And that ended up becoming, years down the line, the font that he learnt in that class became what is today Apple's font. It's gone down in history. And that was from that chance moment of actually following his heart, just thinking, do you know what? I'm just going to just go and do the typography course. Sod what everyone else thinks. And everyone just thought he was crazy. And so that's him listening to his heart, not his head, because his head would have been, well, you know, I've just quit and maybe my parents are right and I should go and do this now and I should go and do that. So trusting the dots that will add up. Sometimes we can't make sense of what we're doing. We're called to do something. And this is the part, I would say, where don't try and predict the future. If you've chosen something today that you really fancy doing, it makes your heart sing. You're like, yes, I really, really want to do this. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. Don't try and predict the future. Don't let your head in going, well, how would you make money from this? But who would buy this? Because that's your head talking. There's a stage where you just need to connect with who you are, where you don't listen to your head. You can ask those questions later when you are in a position where you want to start selling it. But those steps back where you're connecting with your why is so, so important. And it's a skill to learn how to know when it's your head and your heart talking, but you can grow that skill. And you can also grow the power to silence the head. It takes a lot of work. But one thing is, it will never go away. You know, it will be forever there. The head, those negative voices, they will never ever go away. They'll always be there, but you can grow the ability to silence them. So that's what I recommend doing when you don't know your true self. And when you do start to have those pangs of excitement about something and you feel that passion growing, then go with it. So that's my Monday motivator. Hello, look at you all here. So nice to see you all here. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to I just love our Mondays. Oh, there's a few people in Suffolk. I fancy coming to Suffolk. It's a place that I've never been. Erica, happy to be with you. We're happy to have you here. I'm just looking to see. Angela's busy working but listening too. Amazing. Jennifer, hello, Jennifer. I've never held down a job in my life. So hard to admit, partly the ADD and mostly the wrong fit. Yes, I've never been able to hold down a job. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a job longer than, oh yeah, well, my last job, which was over 10 years ago, I did last 3 years, but that's because they kept moving me around to different jobs inside the company. Hello, Leah. I've been like this most of my life, but I always come back to creating in some way. Yes. Hello, Simone. Lovely to have you. My head equals teaching. My heart equals artist. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Lots of people saying I'm exactly the same. I'm exactly the same, Helen says. Siobhan, hello. Hello, Hannah. You don't need to feel shame about that. We're all here for you. Yes, we are. Michelle was the same until she started her true passion. I was. I really was. Oh, Thomasina, hello. This is a why moment. Anne says that she can relate. Yeah, Sophia's saying my head, get a job, it's safe. My heart, be the artist you've always wanted to be, take the risk. Yes. It's interesting how different they are. In fact, this is I took my boy to karate last week, and when we came out, he was really nervous. And when we came out in the car, he said, "You know what, Mummy? I enjoyed that." He said, "I was so scared. It was like I had two people in my brain." He's only 6. He's not even 6 yet. He's 5. He's 6 next week. He said, "It's like I had two people in my brain. One was a superhero telling me, 'Go on, do it, Isaac, do it. Get up, do as the man said,' because he was just sitting for ages. He wouldn't move. It was like he was paralyzed. And then he said, and I had another one in my head going, 'No, don't do it. Everyone will laugh at you. No one will like you.'" And he said, and as soon as I let the superhero be I can't remember how he worded it, but it was almost like when I let the superhero person in my head be the bigger one. He didn't use those words. I can't remember what he said. He said, "I got up then and I did it." And I thought, wow. And that's it was a great reminder to me, he's recognizing it already, which is brilliant. Those two voices. And the way he described it was great. And it's like, yes, you do have to let the other one grow bigger to have the bigger voice than the other one. So yeah. And what also is important from that is that he's experienced that at 6, and it will never go away. We still have it, all of us as adults. And I was explaining that to him, that even us grown-ups have those two voices in our head, and we just don't talk about it as adults, do we? I don't think. Well, we do, because we're here. Hello, Aviva. I was on YouTube as I couldn't log in here, but it was lonely over there. Oh, bless you. Yeah, we broadcast on YouTube for those people that don't have Facebook, but I don't have as many followers on YouTube, so this is where it's busy over here on Facebook. Yeah, Leah, I also have mental health issues, guilty of just following what others were doing. Don't want to do that anymore. Good for you. How do you as an artist decide what art you want to focus on? I've done graphics, ceramics, textile, drawing, painting, and then there's the craft side of it. I love it all. I've been told you need to focus on one thing as your work's very student still. And I felt pulled down, and I've never felt good enough at any one thing. Would love some feedback. Okay, Andrea, yeah, great question. Because what I've spoken about right now is kind of opening up that passion. And what comes from that sometimes is an enormous list of, oh my gosh, I'd like to do this, and I'd like to do that, and I'd like to carry on doing graphics and this, and there becomes a point where, yes, you can't do everything. Well, you can, but it depends then what your mission is. So if you want to turn it into a living, for example, which is what we teach over inside the hub, then yes, it is easier when you have some kind of thread, or some kind of thread that pulls all your work together. Because if there isn't, it is like opening up a floristry, a cafe, an Indian restaurant, a mechanics. It's like trying to open up so many different, even though it's all under the umbrella of art, they are very, very different for different people. And so it becomes challenging. So there becomes a point then when you do discover your why and your passion, where what we tend to teach is to focus right now on the next 90 days. I always work in 90 days. Once you start to have that mind map in front of you and what you really love, it's choosing one thing. And now that one thing can seem crippling, but it isn't. It's like one idea or one starting point, one image that takes you on a journey. If you've got lots and lots of work already, Andrea, then it's about pulling out all that work in front of you and what is the relationship between the work? What is the why behind it all? Why does it all exist? And it's about then selecting and rejecting. So knowing that you can't do everything right now. So we might have on our vision board, I might want to open a cafe on the beach and I might want to live in the city for a year. The things that I list out, I might not be able to do all right now. I can't do everything right now. So it's trying to strip it back to what can I do right now? So looking back at my past, when I started art school, I had to decide. I wanted to do surface pattern, I wanted to do fine art, and I wanted to do sculpture, but I couldn't. I had to choose. And there becomes a point where that's why connecting with your why is so important, so that you choose the one that you really enjoy and not the one that you think you should be doing. And it was the same when I was setting up United Art Space. I couldn't do everything, so I had to focus on, well, what can I do right now to get this set up? And it's always it's too difficult to explain that one thing within art. That's why we've got a whole course on it inside the hub, because sometimes it's not just about one thing, like one subject or one material. It's more related to the purpose of your work and who it's for, and is that consistent? And when we look at your work, does it look like it came from the same person? So those are questions to ask yourself, rather than, what material should I stick to or what subjects should I stick to? But I think in your situation, Andrew, it's reviewing all of your work and then starting to dig into your why. Why did I make it? What is this work connected in some way? And if it isn't, then it's looking and thinking, if I was going to do a 90-day project now and I could do it on anything, what would it be? Using everything that I've learned from my graphics and from textiles and drawing, what would I select and what would I reject? And you create a little mini project with a starting point, and you start to select or reject your learnings from the past and bring them forward to now, and create a body of work that has like a relationship. Hopefully that makes sense. Quite a big one we've got a full course on this inside the hub that we take a long time, so it's hard to answer in a few minutes, but they would be my tips. Oh, Kirsty's tuning in from Brisbane. Hello. Oh yeah, Hannah, I have mental health disorders and try not to let that be a barrier anymore. Yeah, they were barriers for me. Like, it's kind of weird now. I've flipped them round to becoming strengths. I treat them as my superpowers now. But I have so many annoying habits and annoying things. But yeah, it is an ongoing choice. Yeah, I agree. Oh, hello, Hannah. Lovely to see you here. Nothing is ever lost. You're so right, it isn't. The dots add up. Oh, lovely. I am already knee deep in my corporate career, so I've decided to feed my artistic talent. I will do them both. It doesn't have to be either or. You're right. I mean, I did both for a while because I had a job and that was paying my bills. And then I wanted to set up United Art Space. It was an idea, and I did both for a while. And then it transitioned into one. Just seeing if there's any. Oh, poor Melissa. My head is yelling at me at the moment to get a job, as I have a little person who relies on me to look after him. But my heart says to carry on, as I can be an artist and full-time mum and provide all the love and attention he needs. Yeah, I know that pull, because I've been, as a parent myself, had to make some tough decisions based on the responsibilities that I have. And it can be really, really, really difficult to allow your heart to come in at those moments. But just surround yourself with people and get advice and support, is what I would say. Isabella was late, but you made it. That's okay. And she's saying, it's funny that you said about getting a degree and then being asked if you regretted it. I'm the opposite. I've regretted not doing an art degree at the start. Um, yeah, the art degree, I mean, although they were the best years of my life, without a doubt, but you don't need one. That's a whole other video, isn't it? Um, it is all the art degree is all about your why and your what. And for those who don't know, it's the 7 keys that we teach in the hub, and that's what your art course is all about. But there's definitely ways that you can just still tap into your why and your what without a degree. Um, Tanya says, I can really relate to this. This is why I get out of walking in the morning to try and imagine living my dreams. Amazing. I love that. I remember doing that. I'd go out for a little jog and I'd just use that time to visualize every time. Hi, Jackie. Yeah, you want to some local people to connect with. Ah, right. The grieving from the things that you liked. But that's good because you can, whatever those things are that you're grieving, it's like, how can I bring those into now? It's a good point, Jackie. Hello, Polly. Lovely to have you here. I'm a single mum of 3. After I had my 3rd baby, I was on my own. I decided that I would stay at home and give my art the best shot while being a full-time mum. Don't make enough yet, or not to not rely on benefits, but I will get there. Yes, you will, and I can do the things my children need to. It's not easy though. It isn't, lovely, is it? But when you get to do that thing that you love, it's the best feeling. I'm just laughing. Thomasina's comment. Oh, Aviva, thank you so much. Yes, Denise, women, yeah, do lose themselves, and I think men do as well. I know that my ex-husband, us having kids, it kind of just changed everything, and it changed him as well. He said, "I just feel lost," and but I know for women, I guess it depends though, doesn't it, in modern families, because some men are the stay-at-home dads now, and the women go out to work, and but yes, I think out of my friends, that's kind of not very common. I know one couple that have done that, so it's the majority of the women who I know that are kind of lost themselves and just spent so long just pouring themselves into other people. Yeah, I agree. How much did you keep your goals a secret? I love this question, Kirsty. Oh my gosh, yeah. Do you know what? It's a great one because I'm glad you mentioned this, because you should be very careful who you share your secrets with, because they affect the head. That's why. And I shared a lot of what I had in my head as a dream, which back then was crazy bonkers to everyone that I knew. And I had a lot of people telling me that it would never work, that I was being ridiculous, that I was being reckless, that I, so going to Kirsty's point, looking back now, I have learned that I do keep some things to myself, especially to the people that I know won't receive it very well, because I don't want them to feed my brain with the negative thoughts. So I think at the beginning, I didn't really keep it secret. I was really excited, and then it was just bashed down by a lot of people. So yeah, it's a tricky one to answer, because now I'm very careful, and I think that's the thing. It's knowing who to share them with is the key. So you can divulge as much as you like, as long as that person is, encouraging. Well, on the flip side, those people that did say the negative things to me, spurred me on even more. This is the thing, but for some people it might not. Um, for some people, those negative comments can bash people down, and for some, they can be the fuel that drives people to prove them wrong. Which is what I am. I'm more that person. I never used to be, but I am now. Not always, though. Just depends on what. Um, but no, I think it's a very good point, and you've got to be careful, and it depends on each individual person, I would say. Yeah, Siobhan, lovely to see you here. Love that. Looking at your feelings rather than what society feels. Yes. Hello, Stacey. Oh, is there a government announcement? Oh, right. I'm glad you're listening here. I won't say any more on that. Oh, Tracey, this is a nice one as I just head off now. Keep the comments coming because I will go back and check them all. But quote of the week, if my 6-year-old boy can listen to the bigger positive voice in his head and went for it, full superhero in his karate class, we can all leave the doubting voice behind in our head. Oh, that brings a little tear to my eye. But isn't it true? We can. That's a nice one. I'm going to end on that one. It's a nice one to end on. I will come back and check all the comments. So just if you want to ask anything, just let me know. Thank you for being here, everybody. And I will be back next week. I've got some exciting news to share. So next week, I'm going to be hosting a Your Art Matters week. And every day next week, I'm going to be live at 11 o'clock. Yes, you're going to be sick of me next week. But I feel compelled to bring some of my members in from the hub. Sharon's going to be coming on as well. So we'll be live every day, sharing some inspiration with you all, answering questions from artists who are making a living. So I've been collating some questions from you all over the last couple of weeks. And we will be just filling up the week of positivity and this message. I've created this mantra: you matter, art matters, your art matters, and shortened it to Your Art Matters. Next week, Your Art Matters. And it's just this thing, when I connected with my why during the lockdown, that all came out of me. You matter, art matters, your art matters. And it's something that bubbles inside of me just to remind people why art matters, why your own individuality as an artist matters. And so that's what I'm going to be doing next week, is just talking about that, inspiring you to make and be yourself, and bringing people and lots of guests in to inspire you. You don't need to watch them all. If you're free and you're around, you can tune in. There will be replays as well. So yes, it will be good fun, and you'll be able to ask everyone questions as well. So that will be next week. So take care, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.